Today, I'm going to show you how to train ChatGPT to think like a researcher, so you can get smarter, more structured, and more evidence-based answers every time. This is a simple method, but it makes a huge difference in the quality of responses. Instead of getting a casual reply, you'll guide ChatGPT to respond more like an analyst, a PhD researcher, or a subject matter expert. If you find this helpful, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more practical AI tutorials. Let's start with the most important part, which is setting the role. This is step one, and it changes the way ChatGPT frames its response. You want to begin by telling it exactly how to think. For example, you can say, act as a research analyst, or think like a PhD researcher. These role prompts help shift the tone from general conversation into a more academic, logical, and investigative style. When you set the role clearly, ChatGPT is more likely to organize ideas carefully, use precise language, and focus on deeper reasoning instead of giving a surface-level answer. Now let's move to step two, which is asking for structured output. This is where you tell ChatGPT how you want the answer to be organized. A great example prompt would be, explain this topic with introduction, methodology, analysis, and conclusion. You can also ask for sections like background, key findings, discussion, and summary. This forces the model to think in a more logical sequence, just like a research paper or an academic report. Structured output is especially useful when you want clarity, depth, and a response that is easy to review or present. Step three is where you make the response more evidence-based. If you want ChatGPT to think more like a researcher, you need to ask for proof, examples, and references. You can add instructions like include data, examples, and references. This encourages the model to support its points with facts and to explain claims more carefully. Even if you are using it for brainstorming, this step helps improve credibility and makes the answer feel much more professional. It also helps you spot where more research may be needed, which is exactly how a researcher would work. Next comes step four, which is using follow-up prompts to deepen the analysis. This is one of the best ways to get more advanced answers. After the first response, you can ask things like, add critical analysis, compare with other studies, or give limitations. These follow-up prompts push ChatGPT beyond the basics and into a more thoughtful, nuanced discussion. Critical analysis helps identify strengths and weaknesses. Comparing with other studies adds perspective. Asking for limitations makes the answer more honest and balanced. Together, these prompts create a much more research-like result. The key here is not using just one prompt and expecting perfect output immediately. Instead, think of it as guiding the model step by step. First, set the role. Then, define the structure. After that, request evidence and examples. Finally, refine the answer with follow-up prompts. This process works because you are giving ChatGPT a framework to follow, and that framework is what makes the response feel more academic and intelligent. Here's a simple example you can copy. You could say, act as a research analyst. Think like a PhD researcher. Explain this topic with introduction, methodology, analysis, and conclusion. Include data, examples, and references. Then add critical analysis, compare with other studies, and give limitations. That single prompt already tells ChatGPT the role, the format, and the depth you want. You can adapt it for any topic, whether you're writing a report, preparing a presentation, studying for school, or doing content research. If you want even better results, be specific about the subject and the type of research style you want. For example, you can ask for a formal academic tone, a simplified explanation, or a literature review format. You can also request bullet points, tables, pros and cons, or a step-by-step breakdown. The more specific you are, the more useful the answer becomes. So to recap, training ChatGPT to think like a researcher is really about giving it the right instructions. Set the role, ask for structure, request evidence, and use follow-up prompts to sharpen the analysis. Once you start using this method, you'll notice the responses become clearer, deeper, and much more useful. If this video helped you, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next AI tutorial. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.